How to handle gatekeepers' objections. This is probably one of the most discussed topics in cold calling and possibly the most feared part of making them. And you know what? There is no real one answer to handling them, but there is a mindset that you can adopt to help you to overcome them. And I've got here 5 tips to help you do just that so that you can be much more successful in your cold calling. First one is, it's not an objection. The word objection is quite a negative term and it's an expression of opposition or dislike. So when you think of objections, you'll automatically go into what's called the fight or flight mode, and then you'll respond as such. Some of you will demonstrate a more assertive or defensive behavior, and some of you will fumble around for a retort and show maybe some uncertainty in your words that you're using. It all happens because you're responding naturally to what you believe are objections from the gatekeeper. So to eliminate this mental barrier, all you have to do is listen to what the gatekeeper is saying. And believe me when I tell you, gatekeepers very rarely present you with a genuine objection. More often they're asking you a question such as, where are you calling from? Or is this a sales call? Other times they might simply be responding to you with a fact such as, so-and-so does not take cold calls, or we have a no names policy. None of these are objections to what you've said or to you. They're not saying that they don't want your service, and nor are they saying we don't like you. So the sooner you reset your mind to knowing that gatekeepers simply ask questions or state facts, then the sooner you can start to focus on what they are saying rather than trying to cleverly overcome them. Number 2, partner the gatekeeper. In all the years that I've been making cold calls, I can honestly say that I've only been a handful of times when a gatekeeper has genuinely been difficult. Most of the time, they are pleasant and professional. And I find that as soon as you talk to them like you would any professional, the sooner you'll be able to have a comfortable two-way conversation. Their job is to field calls, but they are only human and probably hate having to handle salespeople as much as you hate having to get past them. So make it easy on both of you. Empathize with them. You never know, this person might have had a few rude callers, or they might be under the cosh. A friendly voice that acknowledges their position can make all the difference to them. We all like to be treated in a friendly manner, and we're all more likely to assist someone who appreciates our position. So when a gatekeeper says the person you are after is busy, don't assume that they're lying. Work with them to get their help in finding your way through. Work in partnership with them. Number 3, be honest. I wrote a book on cold calling, and in it I shared my thoughts on some of the cold callers that have called on me. One category of cold callers is what I call the undercover callers. These are callers who feel they have to bend the truth or hide behind it to get by the gatekeeper's questions. Unfortunately, it doesn't always work that way. Again, I have to ask you to put yourself in the recipient's shoes. If someone tells you they're not trying to sell you something, what are your immediate thoughts? Now, gatekeepers have more experience than all of us in receiving sales calls, and they know when someone is calling to sell them something. So when they ask, is this a sales call or are you a salesperson, the worst thing you can do is deny it. Trying to hide from the truth means you're either scared or don't respect the person you're speaking to. This is how a gatekeeper will see it, and they will find a polite way of getting rid of you. I often just say yes and follow up with something like, but can you point me in the right direction, or to the person that I should be speaking about this, please? Try it. It's just called being honest. Number 4, serve questions back. When a gatekeeper serves you with what I would call a question or a fact, then you should always respond honestly, as in point 3, but immediately you should also serve a question back to them. This is a 3-pronged result. Firstly, you keep the conversation going, and the longer you can do this, the more chance you have of building a rapport with the gatekeeper. Secondly, you find out more about the prospect and about how valuable they might be to your pipeline. I use questions such as how many salespeople do you have, or do you have salespeople in the field or office space? It just gives me an idea of the structure and what kind of business I'm dealing with here and what the potential would be for me to go in there and train. These are what I call qualifying questions, and they'll help you to understand how important it is for you to chase or to put time into chasing that person again and again. If the gatekeeper doesn't know the answers, then they'll just simply tell you that they don't. Don't assume that they don't know it before you ask it. Okay? And the third final thing that it will help you with is your confidence. It will make you feel more confident, because the more practice you get at talking to gatekeepers, the more confident you will become. Okay, and finally, number 5, be prepared. To help you to build on that confidence again and overcome objections, you need to make sure that you put some effort into looking at your prospects' online presence. Just have a quick look so that you can tailor your opening line and make sure that any responses you have for the gatekeeper are relatable to what they do. The opening line is important because the more relatable you can make that opening line, the more comfortable the gatekeeper will be in having a conversation with you. See, we all engage better in conversations that we understand. Also, by knowing a little about the business, you can respond to any questions that they put your way, but again, in a relatable way. It gives the impression that you know their business and their industry, so you are a credible person to speak to. And also, for the gatekeeper, a credible person to pass on through to the person that they are representing or you're trying to get through to. So do look into who you're speaking to and be prepared. Okay, quick recap. Number 1, it's not an objection. As soon as you realize that most of the things that a gatekeeper says is a question or a fact, the easier your cold calls will become. It's a mindset. Number 2, partner the gatekeeper. Okay, just empathize with them, acknowledge them as a human being, and get them to help you to get to where you want to be. Use those words. Can you help me? I wonder if you could help me then. Number 3, be honest. Don't be an undercover caller. Just say what you're there for and don't be afraid of it. Number 4, serve questions back. You need to make sure that every time the gatekeeper asks you a question, you ask one back. Qualifying is important. It is important for confidence, and it's also really, really important to keep the conversation going and you on the phone for longer. And finally, be prepared. Have a look at who you're speaking to. Make sure you can add some relatable content in your answers and in your opening line, and make yourself come across more credible. Okay, I hope those 5 tips have helped. Handling objections is a big subject. If you want to talk to me further about this on a one-to-one, you can email me. Again, the email is Shea, SHEA, @wisemeup.co.uk. You can DM me on YouTube and I can speak to you then. You can DM me on LinkedIn or you can DM me on Facebook. I'm there and the details are all below now, or they've scrolled through below now for you, and hopefully they will help you. Thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing. I'll be back soon with some more cold calls. Take care.